Yesterday, EA Sports dropped a teaser trailer and some information for both College Football 26 and Madden 26. Now, anytime EA drops these teaser trailers, when they put some pictures out and things like that, there's always Easter eggs in there. There's always things that they want you to kind of find that is going to let you know some of the things that will be in the upcoming game. They're not going to outright come out and say it, but they put it in front of your face, see if you can catch all of the little things. In between the teaser trailer and some of the other images that did come out yesterday, we found out a decent little amount, more so about college than Madden, but we did find out some things about both games that we're going to talk about today. Probably some things that may have went under the radar that you may not have noticed, because sometimes they sneak stuff into these little trailers and these pictures in ways that, like, if you really don't know what you're looking for, you'll miss it. Now, if you are new to the channel and you don't want to miss out on any of the upcoming news, especially for College Football 26, because we're getting a full reveal in less than a month, and then we're going to be getting gameplay and all kinds of other stuff. If you don't want to miss that, make sure to subscribe and turn the bell icon on so you don't miss any of the important videos I drop when they go live. You know, more than half of you that watch the videos aren't subscribed, so you might wind up missing out on some very important videos and you won't even know it. Now, of course, yesterday we found out the release dates, we found out the pre-order stuff. We know that the early access for College Football 26 is coming on July 7th, so we're really getting pretty close to the game. But probably the biggest thing that we did find out yesterday is that, number one, College Football 26 is only going to be on the same consoles as last year, which is PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X/S. It's still not coming to PC, it's not coming to Switch, probably will come to those platforms in the future. However, Madden is going to be on the PC as usual, and it's coming to the Switch too. So that's one of the bigger, I guess, down points that we found out about college yesterday, is still no PC. But the biggest thing that we did find out that was confirmed, and this has been a rumor for a while, but they confirmed it yesterday, we're getting high school in the Road to Glory mode in College Football 26, because in the teaser trailer it says from high school, you know, to the league, or whatever it said, but it specifically mentions high school. So we are actually getting that in Road to Glory this year. A lot of people wanted that in the game last year. It's coming this year, which means we're going to have high school teams. Maybe you could even make your own in Team Builder. That would be cool. We'll have to find out later on if that's the case, but that means we should also have some generic stadiums for high school as well, which should mean maybe some generic stadiums we could use for our Team Builder teams, because last year we had to use existing stadiums, which did kind of take away from it a little bit. Now, finding out about the high school stuff in Road to Glory was the most obvious thing they put in the trailer. It's what the whole trailer was about, going from high school to college to the pros. It's the one big link between college football and Madden, and they're kind of playing on that in the teaser trailer. And we know that they have been saying that Road to Glory and Superstar mode for Madden are the two modes that they want to really invest heavily into, put a lot of work into, because they're the two modes that need the most work. So that was the most obvious thing, but some other little things they snuck in there, for example, is we got a glimpse at what looks like the new scoreboard or score bug for College Football 26, which I think looks great. The one they had last year looked good. I think this one looks even better if this is the actual score bug. And again, usually they don't sneak things like this into the trailer unless it's going to be in the game. This one actually looks even more realistic. Like, I could see this being, you know, a real life score bug that you would see on TV. So we did get a little bit of a bone that they threw us there if you were able to catch it. They also show Delaware on the score bug, which is definitely intentional, because Delaware and I forget the other team, maybe it's Missouri State. I can't remember if that's the team, but two of those teams did join the FBS. So if they're in the FBS, they're going to officially be in the game, because college football has all the FBS teams. So now we got a couple new ones. I do think we're still going to get FCS teams at 1.2. They have talked about that. We don't know if that's coming this year or not, because it's still early, but they did want to make sure to put that Delaware in there to let you know that, hey, yeah, those two new teams that went over to FBS, they're going to be in the game this year too. So that's pretty cool to see. Something I absolutely loved as a kid and even love today is opening up sports cards. It's always fun to see what you're going to get when you open them up. You just never know what could be in that pack. In fact, here's one of my favorite cards that I keep around the desk, my Jamar Chase LSU on campus card. Pulled this out of a box a few years ago. Absolutely love it. And that brings us to today's video sponsor, Arena Club. Now, Arena Club offers something called slab packs, which is basically a way to open real cards digitally. It's the new way to open sports cards. Now, once your cards are revealed, they can literally ship you that card that you opened in your pack, or you could sell it back to Arena Club instantly. They'll give you an instant offer, which is something I really love, or you can keep it in your vault on the site for trading or selling later. And with these slab packs on Arena Club, it is possible to score gem mints for just a fraction of their retail price, which is something that I absolutely love. Now, Arena Club is the only repack that provides real value. It gives you a complete view of all of the possible cards and the clear hit rates for each one. Now, of all the great things about Arena Club, I will say my favorite thing is the fact that they give you an instant offer on the cards that you pull. They give you 90% of the estimated value, so there's no guesswork on your part. You don't have to wait around and try to sell it, which I know I've done this in the past with a lot of cards cards I've pulled. Sometimes it's hard to sell cards, sometimes it takes a while. If you can get 90% of the value instantly, I'll take that every single time. And of course, you know, Arena Club is going to be hooking you guys up. Right now, you can get 20% off of your first slab pack or card purchase by going to arenaclub.com/RayWeather and use code RayWeather. Now, speaking of score bugs, we're going to jump over to Madden real quick because they also snuck in a score bug for Madden as well. And again, these are the type of things I don't think that they sneak into trailers if they're not going to be in the game, because there's really no reason to put them in there if that's not what you're going to use for the game. Now, the Madden score bug still at the bottom of the screen, which is what they did last year. They moved it over to the bottom. It looks like they're keeping it that way this year. I would say this looks similar to last year, but slightly different. But I thought last year's score bug was fine. It kind of gave me like a old school kind of Monday Night Football score bug vibe. So they're keeping something similar with that this year, it appears, when they showed this Commanders clip. So looks like we kind of can see what those are going to look like for both games. Another interesting shot in the trailer was when the player was sitting in front of a bunch of trophies at his desk. Now again, EA is really intentional. They know what they're doing here. They know one of the biggest pieces of feedback, or even complaints, if you want to call it a complaint, that 25 had was that there's no trophy room. There's no way to see all the trophies that you had won and collected over the years, and that is something that was in older games, and it's something that a lot of people kind of enjoy having there. I don't think it's a make or break thing in the game. I don't think like it absolutely has to have this or the game is awful, but it's something that a lot of players like, especially if you're like a Road to Glory or even Dynasty player. You want to see all the stuff you've racked up over the years. Some people want to see the hard work, right? So when they put this shot in the trailer of a player sitting in front of a trophy case filled with trophies, maybe not like an actual case, but a bunch of trophies behind him, I feel like that's an intentional shot that, you know, these people that work on these trailers and all these different things, like, they thoroughly think through what they're putting in there. They're putting stuff in there that they want you to see, and they're not putting stuff in there that they don't want you to see. So if they make a shot that's that intentional, to me, I think that kind of confirms that we should be getting the trophy case, at least in college football, if not in both games. And it was one of the biggest pieces of feedback last year, and it was something that they had listed as kind of a top priority based on what it seemed like players wanted. So I think this kind of confirmed that that'll be in the game. Now let's jump over to this still image. Now I believe this is from the Xbox and PlayStation stores. I don't know if this image dropped anywhere else, but again, when they put these images out there, they're not doing it for no reason. They know what's in the image. And I saw a couple people point out two things, because if you just look at this image, you say like, it doesn't really look like anything crazy. It just looks like a few players with College Football 26 in the background. But a lot of people pointed out, if you look at the Notre Dame player on the left side of the screen, it would appear that he has a ski mask on under his helmet, especially if you kind of compare that to the guy on the right side of the screen looking at the back of his neck. It's clearly different. Now, this is something that I believe is coming to the game. It was something that they wanted to put in the game. It didn't get in the game last year. It's a highly requested accessory that is worn by a lot of players. Now, I don't think that this 100% confirms that this is in the game, because in a picture like this, you know, it could look that way, but it might just be the lighting on the picture, for example. But I do think, you know, with a lot of the equipment they put in last year, they're definitely going to put in more this year. So this could definitely be a thing. Another thing that some people pointed out was that the guy in the green helmet, the hair that is coming out of his helmet, that is not a hairstyle that was supposedly in 25. I don't know all the hairstyles in the game, I'll be honest, because I'm not a guy that goes that deep on some of that stuff, but people said that that was a different hairstyle. So that could just be, you know, more customization, more player editing. They're adding more hairstyles, maybe more faces, which is definitely needed in the game. So that's something else to point out that potentially is changing in 26. Now, aside from all of that, we also got a little bit of other news before the trailer came out a few days ago, and it appears that Enter Sandman has kind of been confirmed for College Football 26, and for those of you that don't know, that's a Metallica song that is played before the Virginia Tech games, and people were pretty disappointed that it didn't make it in last year, but it appears that something's going on, because the College Football Twitter account a few days ago tweeted that College Football and Metallica are joining forces to give one college marching band an opportunity to take the field and get in the game. The Division I winner of the For Whom the Bell Tolls competition will not only get to record the college football theme song, but also record a Metallica song for a future edition of college football. It says Metallica and one lucky marching band will rock college football like never before. So they're kind of working together here, which I feel like if they're doing all that, that means that they're probably going to be putting Enter Sandman into 26. I mean, I guess they didn't outright say that it's going to be in the game, but if they're now working with Metallica, I don't see why that wouldn't be in the game, because that's like the biggest contribution Metallica could make to the game is having that song in there. But regardless, they're working together and some cool stuff is going to come out of it. There was also some news recently that they're going to be working with Lowe's for like some sponsorship partnerships in the game, so we'll see Lowe's included in the game in some way, like we've seen, you know, Discover Card and some other things in the game. Last year, I think Allstate was in the game on the field and some of the stadiums and stuff like that. So, I mean, I like stuff like that because it makes it look like it looks on TV. So the more you can get different companies and sponsors and things involved so that it looks like what we see when we watch on TV, I think that's pretty cool. Now, the full reveal, like I said earlier, is coming in May, so we're definitely less than a month away because it'll probably come, you know, halfway through May, maybe during the 3rd week of May. We're definitely going to be getting all the covers, the cover athletes. We're going to be getting a lot of gameplay info and stuff. We're going to be seeing some trailers, and then probably in June, we'll start seeing more gameplay-related stuff like the full gameplay deep dive breakdowns, the Dynasty mode, the Road to Glory breakdown. So the next 6 or so weeks is going to be pretty jam-packed pretty soon with a lot of info for this game. So make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss out on anything every step of the way. And if you want to know about the 10 biggest things that I personally want to see in the game, things that I think need to be in the game, make sure to check out this video I did right here on the screen.